Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, will Kawhi Leonard finally be able to shut up Stephen A. Smith and others? So that's a topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, we have our Dreamerspro Premium community, our Dreamerspro Max online sports community. It's a place where you can go and start basketball discussions and debates, chat live during games like we did all of last night, consume original content that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. Go live with us after games, especially during the playoffs. So it'll be very fun for you guys and do so many other things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below and get 7 days of free access. I'm sure you guys are going to love it, especially given the fact that now these games are really beginning to matter and people are going to have a lot of thoughts because, guys, there's a lot going on in there. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So Kawhi Leonard and Stephen A. Smith have had a pretty unusual relationship. Stephen A. Smith, for one reason or another, has been kind of singling out Kawhi Leonard over the past year or so, year and a half, in the media. I think, to be quite honest with you, I think Stephen A. Smith knows that Kawhi Leonard is a good player, but he really doesn't think he's that dude. I think he just thinks he's a guy that's just been kind of been at the right place at the right time throughout his career, with his time in with the San Antonio Spurs and also the run with the Toronto Raptors. He tends to give a lot of other guys the benefit of the doubt and kind of overlooks what Kawhi Leonard has accomplished. He mentions it and says, yeah, but he still has a lot to prove. And listen, does Kawhi have a lot to prove in the sense that he's not done cementing his legacy? Absolutely right. I agree with Stephen A. Smith with that. But I feel like he gives way too many other guys the benefit of the doubt over Kawhi Leonard. I mean, for God's sakes, Kyrie has a 40-point game. He has him in the MVP discussion. Kawhi Leonard, if he came out and had a 40-point game, you wouldn't even hear Stephen A. Smith mention him. So that's the only kind of thing that I don't have, that I kind of don't like about Stephen A. Smith. There seems to be some incongruities with the way he kind of picks and chooses who he wants to criticize. So last night I heard a segment on his show called Stephen A's World or something like that. I don't know what the show. I don't really watch it, but he had a brief segment where he was kind of calling out Kawhi Leonard. He had a message for him. So before I go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to that soundbite of him just kind of leaving his message, giving his message to Kawhi Leonard. So take a listen to that.
Kawhi Leonard is right. The Clippers should be concerned. Kawhi Leonard is also right when he says that great teams are consistent, because they are. But I've got some good news for you, Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers are consistent. Consistently disappointing when you're relying upon something else from them. After getting blown out last night by the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that's well out of the playoff hunt right now, the Clippers have now lost 4 of their last 5, 7 of their last 11. Since the start of February, they've only won 2 games against teams that are currently in playoff positions. That's very concerning. This Clippers team looks nothing like a championship contender at this particular moment in time, and that needs to be mentioned. I know Patrick Beverley is out. I know Serge Ibaka left last night's game early. But I also know it's time for Kawhi Leonard to get a whole bunch of attention pushed in his direction. That's right, I said it. It's time for him to step up. I know he's averaging 26. He's shooting nearly 52% from the field, 40% better than 40% from three-point range. But guess what? A lot was expected from Kawhi Leonard when he arrived in Los Angeles. A lot was expected for the Clippers because of him. A lot was promised because of him. A new era for the Clippers because of him. But so far, it's been disappointing. That's not a new era. That's the same old Clippers. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm sorry. I remember the crown dangling from the mirror of his convertible with his New Balance commercial when he arrived as the reigning champion and NBA Finals MVP in L.A. looking at LeBron James like, yo, it's a new king in town. Then LeBron was waiting in the conference finals. And Kawhi didn't make it there after having a 3-1 lead in the semis. He owes us him versus LeBron in the postseason. Anything else is unacceptable.
Now, in that soundbite, you basically hear Stephen A. Smith saying Kawhi Leonard needs to step up because he owes us a Clippers versus Los Angeles Lakers showdown. Essentially, that's what he's saying. Given the fact that so many people in the media love the fact that he failed last season, like Shannon Sharp, we all know, And Nick Wright, right? I think so many these guys really enjoyed the fact that Kawhi Leonard lost last year in the playoffs. I think Shannon Sharpe was probably out of fear because he knew that, listen, the Lakers and the Clippers were a very good matchup, and he knew that was going to be a highly contested series, and he knew that the Clippers were going to be the team in the Western Conference, I believe, that were going to give the Lakers the biggest challenge last year. I think he knew that. And Nick Wright Nick Wright, we all know what Nick Wright feels. But Stephen A. Smith as well. But a lot of people love the fact that he wasn't able to come up big last year in the playoffs, on the fact that he lost, right? Because Stephen A. Smith was one of the main guys on TV. You saw how he was going to Max Kellerman, very similarly to the way that Shannon Sharpe was going at Skip Bayless on TV. We all remember that exchange, right? But I think that he's saying that, listen, you gotta give us a LA versus Clippers versus Lakers showdown. Now, to that extent, I do agree, because me myself, I want to see it. I want to see the debate finally settled once and for all. But for that to happen, for all of those things to be possible, I think Kawhi will need to be better than he was. He needs to be better than he was last year. Because listen, Paul George has still not shown me that he's ready to be consistent. If you look at the last few games the Clippers have been having, Paul George has been very, very inconsistent, right? And Kawhi Leonard has been the only guy out there that really looks like he knows what the hell is going on, right? If you look at the win that they had last night against the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, he pretty much willed his team to win. He didn't have a great shooting night, although he shot, I think, close to 50% from the field or something like that. Yeah, I think he shot 9 of 20 from the field. He only made 20% of his threes. I think it was 1 out of 5 for his threes. But listen, Kawhi Leonard is going to have to be better. He's going to have to be better. Other players also will need to step up for this to happen, right? It's not like as if it's magic, because the Western Conference got better. Players like Paul George, players like Lou Williams, players like Marcus Morris, players like Nicholas Batum, who came on pretty strong last night and hit some pretty big threes. He's been off over the last few games. And Serge Ibaka, right? Another thing that's going to be important is that players need to be healthy. Patrick Beverley has missed 25% of the games this season. What's his name? Serge Ibaka just missed the last 2 games, although he played the game prior, but he only played 1 quarter, so he's missed the last 2 games. So players will need to be healthy. I think that Tyronn Lue will need to be able to make a lot of adjustments on the fly for this team to have a chance, because let's be honest, every single round this year in the playoffs, Stephen A. Smith and others are going to be picking against Kawhi Leonard. We all know this. Like, it's just something to be expected. I think Kawhi Leonard needs to go into it knowing that the media is going to be ready to jump on him again if he doesn't come through. And I think the only way for him to shut these guys up is the Clippers at least have to make it to the NBA Finals. That's the only way he will be able to shut up Stephen A. Smith and others. If they don't do that, it's going to be more of the same, and more questions are going to be asked about him. Why isn't he coming through, etc. This and this and this and this. So for me, I think Kawhi Leonard is really going to have to step up in a major way to be able to shut up these guys, because trust me, they're going to be waiting to pounce. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think he can shut him up? Because I think he can, but it's going to be an uphill battle. So whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day, and catch you guys on the next episode.